Hi, my name is Shabazz Momi, and I'm the lead developer at Asda Software Development. And I'm going to be a full-time software engineering student at the University of Waterloo, Canada. For the past 5 weeks, we've been working on the OST Proof of Concept Phase 2, and it's a project we call the Homework Share. And what it allows is for users, mainly students in our case, to collect, organize, and share pieces of homework, assignments, and any other documents that their peers may be able to use as studying aids. The actual OST part comes into this as they're rewarded for doing this sharing and this collecting and this organization. As each post-to-post, as each document-to-document transaction gets rewarded from user to user in terms of these OST-backed branded tokens. The user is also rewarded from the company to the user through ad revenue, and through the confirmation of that revenue, branded tokens are sent from the company to the user. Our goal with this project was to create the skeleton of an app that had the basic functionality of collecting, sharing, and organizing documents and information while getting rewarded in OST for doing so. We thought we exceeded this expectation overall, adding lots of new features that weren't originally planned. However, we also left lots of room, lots of potential for actual improvement and additional features such as greater content discovery. I wrote the entire native Android app in Kotlin, as well as the entire backend in Kotlin as well, while using Spark frameworks and other HTTP frameworks, the OST SDK of course, and Mongo database, as well as several other third parties to fully integrate and tie into this.
So opening up the app right off the bat brings us to the home screen, which right now is personalized just because I'm signed into under user, and I can see my user under the profile tab, which I've just clicked. And under there I can see my name and the school I'm attending, and this is all collected during the onboarding stage, where onboarding art was shown along with a tutorial of the app, and the profile was actually created. And during that profile creation, this user was asked for their school, so that's through Google Maps API, which when they enter in their address of their school or the name of their school, it queries it, sends the server back the name and the ID of the school, just to prevent any typos from having in the school and the school name, and properly collecting all the IDs and students from the same school properly. And also, the user selects their grade, which they desire, and that's just a simple drop down. And finally, they also log in through the Google account, so they select their Gmail account, which they wish to. It's a simple one-tap process that automatically links it, and that creates a user on the server side that creates a registration, and that automatically hooks up all the data to the cloud. It's retrieved, and that's what's seen here. Going back to the home screen brings us to the actual content, and this is where most of the app is actually done. So one of the major things, the main theme of this app is actually share, search, and organize homework. And this is primarily done through the actual searching itself, which is at the search bar at the top, which contains a number of functions, and also this middle section, which contains a search by course. And so clicking on the search by top just applies no filters and searches through every single post. However, going through the search by course, the prioritized courses are shown at the top, which are starred. And again, that's through a personal user preference. And if we click the View More button, we can see all of the actual courses you can select. So if I click on one of these, so for in this case, I'd click Biology, it automatically applies the filter of Biology, which we can see at the top. There's also more filters at the top, which for this building is for the actual school, so you can search within the same school. User is just searching your own, so you can search within your own post. And the last button is just to save within your saved posts. Within collections and stuff. So for now, in this case, I'll just demonstrate the searching of something from physics. So if I click on physics, I can see there's only about 5 posts right now, and that's just because that's all the test data there is. But if I go through something, I can search whatever I want, and the searching is actually extremely robust, just because it uses proper elastic search, and because of that, you can type in what you want with typos and close enough. It doesn't have to be an exact match, and it'll show relevant content even if it doesn't contain the exact same words. It'll show you relevant content, and it also organizes it by the likes. So we can see on the right side that we have a like, and that just helps keep the relevance at the top level. Clicking on the actual post, it brings us to the post UI, where we can zoom into the post, do whatever we want to, and look at it and use it as a reference. In the middle, we have the actual title as well as the person who created the post, and at the bottom, we have the 3 post actions over here. Also at the bottom, you'll notice that we have the ad spot, which right now is just a fill-in for a banner ad, but that's basically our main revenue model, where banner ads are shown during actual, when a user clicks on a post after some period of engagement, an ad is shown, and that ad, when it's clicked or viewed, it's confirmed by the third party to the server, and the user is compensated for basically viewing that ad. So going back to the actual post UI itself, as I mentioned earlier, you can scroll and pan. But at the bottom we have the liking action, which is where the actual transfer occurs. Right now I've already liked the post and it's filled in. I can't unlike it even if I press it, just because the transactions are irreversible on the blockchain. I also have the save feature, which allows me to save to a collection. So going to the collections tab, collections are basically just groups of posts which are organized in one place, in one kind of area where you can click on different collections, view different items. And so if I click on these example collections, these are created from before, and they basically just contain whatever you want. You can save whatever you want in there, and that's an ease of relevance right there. So if I go back to my actual physics, and if I go back to the Newton's gravitational law, I can see if I press it, if I can press it, I can create a new collection. So I'll just call it a new collection. I'll call it OST test. If I click OK, it creates a new collection, adds a post in there, everything's done. I can edit it, change the name of it, and if I go back to the collections after refreshing it, I'll notice that the OST test comes up here. And at the top as well, you can search through collections, and if there's a large number, you could search whatever. Again, there's that elastic collision, shows you the most relevant, even with typos. And so I can type in, just for example, I can type in test, and it goes there, or I can go calc, and it would pull up. I have a typo in that, calcs, but it still matches it to calc, just because the elastic. And so if I go back to the actual collection itself, I will notice that we have the same 3 buttons of the actual post actions that were over here are actually as easy access outside the post, so I can still, even when it's outside, better example would be over here or somewhere over here, when it's actually outside the collection, I can still save to collection. And as I mentioned earlier, the biggest thing is sharing and organizing and such. So I can click the send button, and I can send it to wherever I want. It basically just creates a link, and that link isn't actually to the app. It's just a website which can be accessed from anywhere through our mobile browser, through wherever you want on the desktop. And that just opens a website which contains the actual post itself. It's basically the exact same UI as you see here, except you can't like and stuff, obviously, because the user created. But that allows for easy post sharing without forcing the other user to actually sign up for all this stuff, sign in with a Google account, and that's just good for user engagement. And so going back to our collections, we have those here. We can do the same thing with the collections. I click the send button, I do it. We have the edit, just to edit the names and such, and we can go in. And so one of the other main functions is the actual ability to like posts. So we've already been through the search, so if I go through the search, I'll just look for a post that I haven't liked yet. So if I click biology, I can see, electron transport chain and chemiosmosis. I haven't liked that yet, or somebody hasn't liked it yet because it's 0 likes, and just because of that liking relevance and that popularity, it shows up at the bottom of the list. If I were to search up, I can type in also electron chain. Again, it doesn't have to be 100% mass, or I can just directly type in chemiosmosis and it would show up. And that's just extremely well done search right there. There's a typo in that, it still shows up. So if I click it, I go to the standard post UI, we got the ads, we got the functions, already covered those. But if I like the post, I can press the heart button and it shows up with the dialog, thanks, you just liked this post, and that is actually the sending of the DRT. That's just the branded token symbol right now. But it just informs you that, hey, you've just sent this, and it creates basically a reward or a kind of experience in actually liking posts, and it makes it worthwhile. So if I go back to my home, refresh it, I can see my balance has gone down from 28 DRT to 18 DRT. And also if I go back to the home, I can see the bottom, I've liked the post, I can't unlike it. And I cannot unlike it. So that's basically covers the liking right there, and that's part of the reward right there. This would be encouraged just because you'd be earning quite a bit through the ad revenue, and you'd be allowed to just send that freely between users through these actual posts. So the actual creation of the post is done through this create tab at the bottom, and it's pretty simple to use. So right in the middle you have this press to select an image, which you can click, and it just shows up different image sources you can use. You can use your camera to take an image on the spot, you can use files, Google Drive, wherever you wish to. And for this case I'll just use my photos, and I can select something. So this is a recent note that I've taken. As you might have saw there, I have a lot of homework in this, which is partly why it's a big motivation, just being able to go over into all this and actually filter what I want and organize it and share it with other people very easily. So this, I can crop the image, rotate it, do whatever I need to, and get it to how I want. if I crop a too small of an area or a small area, it'll zoom in and adjust accordingly, just because to fit the balance properly, and allows the user to easily crop. So I can crop it, press the crop button, works out, and I can also select multiple if I want. I'm not going to, just because stick with this one. Click title, enter in a simple title here, which in this case is a thermal regulation homeostasis note, and I can just click OK. And then again, in this course it'd be biology, so I can click biology. It's a type of note, and the visibility, I can just leave that public because I don't care if anybody else sees it. So I press the upload button, gets uploaded, and bam, the post shows up. 0 likes default, and I can again save this to my biology collection if I want. And that goes with all my other biology, and so that's instantly create a post. Very simple, very quick, and you can do that with anything, and you can immediately start getting rewarded for it. If I go into my actual profile again, I can see it shows up in the thermal regulation tab. And so that's mainly the entire app right there, showcased as quickly as I could do it. It's a bit over time, sorry about that, but I just wanted to make sure I included everything, including most of the functionality here. Thank you for watching.